And Como with you, and good morning, Acadiana. All right, so we like to talk to a lot of different folks on our radio station. This man is no stranger to us. Former Louisiana Lieutenant Governor. He was also Secretary of Natural Resources. He was also our nation's longest serving director of the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement, and the founder now of USA Energy Workers. Scott Angelle is joining us this morning. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Bernie. Great to hear your voice. I'm coming to you from the energy capital of the world, Houston, Texas. While I'm happy to be in the energy capital, I'm actually kind of excited to be driving back pretty soon to the crawfish capital of the world. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But good to hear your voice, and good to know that you got a Como in your co-pilot seat.
Amen to that, right? So for those for those who don't know about USA Energy Workers, talk to us a little bit about your organization.
Yeah, so one of the things that after a lifetime of public service, one of the things that I recognize is that in this country, we were beginning to unfortunately vilify energy workers. I happen to believe that energy workers are critically important. I certainly support our first responders, our police officers, our firemen, our healthcare workers, our teachers. All these professions means our military. It means so much to America. But our energy workers, I think, the instincts that were telling me that our energy workers needed to be elevated and celebrated because of what they do. And it's certainly, that vision is certainly playing out on the world stage right now as we see what's happening. And I think that, I like the old cliche that if you can read, you need to thank a teacher. I think that's so true. I would like to add to that, if you can read at night in your warm or cool home, you need to thank a teacher and a USA Energy worker. So part of what I'm doing here is just trying to elevate and celebrate the contributions of our energy workers. And obviously Louisiana, as a big energy state, we have a lot of folks all across our state who need to be recognized, who need to be celebrated and elevated. Because at the end, Bernie and Brandon, we've had 6 recessions from 1973 to 2019 in this country. And each one of those recessions were preceded by a spike in energy prices, as goes America's access to affordable, not cheap, but affordable energy. As goes America's access to affordable energy, so goes America's economic performance. And we cannot have access to affordable energy without a strong USA Energy workforce. And in my mind, it was just kind of like incredible that when you take a look at our nation's energy policy, I take a look at some price points. On January 27th of 2021, the White House issued a pause on offshore leasing. Price of gas was $2.39 a gallon. Last week, it was $4.65, nearly doubled in 18 months. It's absolutely incredible. And while that's going on, the White House is looking to OPEC to increase production rather than looking to Port Fourchon and Houma and Morgan City and New Iberia and Lafayette and Delcom and Abbeville and Cameron and Lake Charles. It's absolutely incredible. And certainly, when I want to take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, just so many more environmental advantages to production that comes from the Gulf and from the Haynesville Shale in northwest Louisiana and maybe the Permian over at our friends in Texas, as opposed to going to Saudi Arabia. So it's really odd, and I think there's something at play that we need to stand up. And I'm playing offense. I'm taking out stories that I believe that our USA Energy workers love: an afternoon on the beach, a walk in the park, a hunting and fishing opportunity, clean water and clean air as much as any other workers in America do. And I think we need to start telling our story to the rest of the world, because our story is having a negative impact on our nation. If we don't, our story, the lack of our story not being told, I guess I should say, is having a negative impact on our nation's economic performance.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that. And, we would not have progressed as far as we have in our country without this industry and without these workers. If you got to say, okay, this should be our energy policy, what do you think that energy policy would look like?
Well, the first thing I would say is that we don't look for other places across the globe to feed our population. On the strength of our farmers, we not only have incredible production here at home, but we also help feed the world. We have an opportunity to take a page out of our farmers' playbook and repeat that. And on the strength of our USA energy workers, we ought to look domestically first to solve our problems, okay? And when I take a look what our energy policy has become over the last 18 months, we went from saying, oh no, to OPEC, to oh shucks. Okay. Now, oh shucks in Brobridge is spelled a little differently than it's spelled maybe in more sophisticated towns. It starts with an S. It starts with an S. It ends with a T, but it's not Scott, and it's a four-letter word. So y'all figure it out. Okay. So that's how our energy policy has been saying, oh no, to OPEC, to oh shucks. Now, what's incredible about that, the reason that the White House said, oh no, was in the name of climate change and the environment. And look, I realize that elections have consequences, but one of the things that I would say is that the facts don't support the policy. The facts clearly say that production from the Gulf of Mexico is the most climate advantaged production in America. It's the second most climate advantaged production on the planet. We vent and flare less methane. We have the second lowest carbon production per barrel of all production on the planet. And so, the whole deal, Bernie and Brandon, it's called global warming. It's not called USA warming. So we have this one atmosphere, and the molecules are the molecules, and yet we're saying, no, we're putting USA energy workers on the bench, and we asking OPEC producers to produce more oil that we're telling USA producers not to do, and in the name of the environment, when none of that makes sense, the facts don't support it. So I'm not looking to place blame. I'm looking to answer your question. And what I would say is the number one thing we need to do is look domestically at our energy producing opportunities. The good Lord has blessed us with incredible resources in this country. And on the strength of our workers, after World War II, we have built an incredible economy in this country. And when you think of the Eisenhower interstate system, which connects all of our major cities, all fueled by fossil fuels, all right, which has given this great rise to this incredible economy we have, it's just a little silly right now. And look, I'm all of the above generation guy. I believe we ought to be looking at every possible opportunity to fuel this country. And I think most people believe that. But let's look at the facts. And the facts are that what we do in the Gulf of Mexico, what we do in the Haynesville Shale, and what we do in the Permian Basin is pretty damn important to America. And if we don't have a course correction, we're going to drive this economy right into the ditch.
Yeah, I think that is among the biggest fears that people have in this situation. You are asking people to look at the website, go to it, and there is a petition there, too. Could you tell us a little bit more about the petition at usaenergyworkers.com?
Yeah, so again, what we're thinking, and part of what I've been out there kind of branding, is a philosophy, a policy philosophy that says, let's balance the 3 E's. And the 3 E's for me are environment, energy, and economy. And somehow, some way in this country, environment became a blue state issue, energy became a red state issue, but there's a third E called economy, and it's a purple issue, and it affects everybody. And what I believe our nation's, I think, policy or vision ought to be is balancing those 3 E's, make sure that we are absolutely facing the challenge of our time, which is to make sure that we can improve our environment without wrecking our economy, and doing that by recognizing all of our resources. Let me give you a perfect example of when we get out of balance what happens. So we're starting to see what's happening right now in Europe with regards to Ukraine and Russia kind of starting to cut off of some of these supplies. Well, Europe is experiencing incredibly high energy prices right now. So you know what they're doing? They are now in Europe going back to burning coal. Okay, which was viewed as yesterday's solution, and we got rid of coal in a lot of areas, and now because the policy is out of balance, they're having to do things that are actually worse for the environment than better. And the inconsistency out of the White House is what I think is so ridiculous. So on March the 25th, the White House said, look, we're going to help our European friends, and we're going to begin to increase liquefied natural gas exports to Europe. And that was a responsible statement to make. That 40% of the natural gas in Europe comes from Russia. The European Union was saying no more. So on March the 25th, the White House said, we are going to begin to increase liquefied natural gas exports to Europe. That's really, really smart policy. But in the meantime, 26 days later, on April the 21st, John Kerry, the climate envoy for the White House, states that natural gas, he comes out. This is 26 days after the president said we're going to help Europe. He comes out and says natural gas only got 10 years left. So if we're going to export more LNG to Europe, we need to spend billions and billions and billions of dollars building that infrastructure. I think the market's willing to spend that money. But then now John Kerry comes out and says, no, it's only going to have a 10-year life to it. Well, nobody wants to spend billions and billions and billions and billions on 40-year assets that he is saying only has a 10-year life. And then 21 days later after that, on May the 12th, the Biden administration canceled 3 major offshore lease sales. And the central Gulf of Mexico, Bernie and Brandon, is loaded, absolutely loaded with natural gas. Mm-hmm. And we could put Boudreaux's and Thibodeau's and Cherami's and Calais and Robins to work right now in the Gulf of Mexico in incredible ways if we would just send a signal. And what I think what I would say, realizing this is a family show, trying to make sure I say it the most appropriate way. The White House is now starting to call on American producers to produce more. But you can't, capital is not going to go where capital is not welcome in the long term. And what we have right now is a White House. We have a White House that's treating the oil and gas industry like a booty call. It's like, we want y'all today.
I love it.
And we're interested in, look, oil and gas workers, USA Energy workers are interested in a long-term relationship. We want to invest. We want to be part of the fabric of America. We want to help create opportunities to be more competitive. But the White House on one day says we want oil and gas companies to go bankrupt, and then the following day is looking at us like a booty call. We better than a booty call. We want to be respected in the morning. That's my line to America today.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, Scott Angelle has been our guest. Y'all check out USAEnergyWorkers.com, and you can find out more about them and look and read and sign the petition as well. Mr. Angelle, thank you so much for your time this morning. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Bernie and Brandon, doing a great job. One real quick, I would encourage everybody in the Lafayette, Acadiana area to think about LACO. LACO is a great show.
Yes.
It's done a great job for a long time. It's coming to a zip code near you in October. We got to play offense to let America know that what we do in South Louisiana is important. LACO is a great opportunity for people to do it. I'm going to be a part of it, and I'm suggesting everybody kind of we need to rally the troops around it, and we got a story to tell. I want to thank y'all for the incredible work y'all do of bringing truth to Acadiana, and I'm looking forward to being with you guys maybe in the studio here before too long.
That sounds great. All right, sir. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.